Hi, my name is Jamie Ways. I'm doing a PhD in data visualization.
My name is Jacob Lee. I'm in the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. I'm a first year's master's student.
My name is Sigun. I'm a master's student in ComSci.
My name is Guang. I'm also in ComSci doing the master in applied computing.
So data visualization is really the art and science and practice of trying to, as the name says, convey data through visual means. Now, here's an example of a very dense table of data that I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's legally mandated on the side of all food packaging in Canada, since at least for the past 10 years. Anyways, in order to actually extract data from this information, you have to direct your gaze line by line to actually extract little symbols and try and figure out what do these symbols mean. That takes a long time, and the role of data visualization is to use certain features like color, shape, placement, size, proximity. These are known as pre-attentive features that we can actually pick up and recognize without having to direct our gaze to each line, and pass that information through the visual processing system directly to the brain. It's a lot faster to get this information. Anyways, the nutrition facts label obviously needs to be redesigned, and there are plans to actually redesign it over the next few years, but until that happens, we created an app that will do that for you. So using our app, you can actually scan a picture of nutrition facts label on the side of any food package, and it will scan it for you and optically character recognize the data that's right in there and present this chart, which immediately you can actually extract the information a lot quicker. So there's various other features, a little equivalent foods button that will allow you to see equivalent foods to the one that you scanned based on any category. And you can adjust your personal settings, because on these packages, and I'm sure you've all looked at the percent daily recommendation values, well, that's all based on an assumed diet of 2,000 calories per day. Well, using our app, you can actually personalize that so that the percent recommendations are based on your own height or size, weight, activity level. And there's a little bit of math behind that we found. So you can adjust these. Another feature would be just to save labels that you've scanned and open them later. So Jacob's going to show us how it works.
Great. Control 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so today I'm actually going to eat some Rexall brand chocolate chip cookies. But I'm also trying to watch my calorie count because I started a new fitness regime. So good thing I have this handy little app with me. First of all, I'm going to check my personal settings, make sure they're all right. So far it looks good. I'm just going to change my fitness value because of the new fitness regime. And then I'm going to take a picture of this nutrition label app. And in the meantime, I'll read this little bit of trivia. I did not know that to obtain the maximal nutritional benefits, onions should be eaten raw or slightly steamed. That was really interesting. Anyways, we get the nutrition facts chart up here. It looks really healthy. This box of cookies basically, well, it's organic, so maybe that helps. For one cookie, though, it doesn't seem too bad. I'm probably going to eat more than one cookie. I'm probably going to eat, I don't know, 10 cookies. And I can see that my fat level is kind of high. The yellow bar is pretty large there. I don't read the numbers, but that yellow bar really signifies that I should start looking at the fat content. I'm going to go ahead and save this label. Call it CC cookie, chocolate chip cookie. And I bought some cookies last week. From President's Choice. I think I want to do a comparison between the two different labels and see whether those cookies are healthier or not. So it looks the same from the initial startup, but let's also do 10 servings of those cookies. And it looks like those cookies actually are healthier in terms of everything else because I only see one yellow bar instead of 3 or 4 yellow bars, right? So that's really interesting. I'm just going to make sure I realize how much fat that is approximately. So I'm going to look at an equivalent amount of a different food. Okay, so 10 cookies is a triple cheeseburger, which is a lot in terms of calories. And wow, it's 1 bar of butter. 10 cookies is approximately 1 bar of butter in terms of fat, which is a lot. I cannot imagine that's going into me, so I'm gonna eat 5 cookies instead. Anyways, Segun's gonna talk a little bit about the future, or the key learning.
Okay, so the main thing that we've learned is that optical character recognition is a very computationally expensive task, and it's a little difficult when the surface is warped, bent, or laminated because the surface lighting is not ideal. And right now, all the computations that we do are done locally on the phone. This causes our processing time to be roughly 10 to 12 seconds, which is not ideal. So if we were to redo this app, we might consider doing the computations externally, say on a server, because the OCR engine we're using, Tesseract, was originally designed for desktops, not for mobile devices. And we believe this will considerably reduce our computation time. And now I'll pass it on to Guang, who will talk about our future work.
Okay, thank you, Segun. So as Segun mentioned, OCR speed was one of our bottlenecks. But if we were to do everything on the mobile phone, we could look into different set of training data. So right now we're training the characters by character, and then we're parsing the results into some readable text. Instead of doing that, we could look into training the words by themselves and do image recognition on the words, which will significantly speed up the recognition process. We would also like to include some additional data charts for the nutrition labels, including fat, saturated fat, fiber, sugars, and protein. We also are thinking about additional features, such as using UPC scanning for additional data, as someone suggested in this class. And thank you for listening and questions.
Yeah, the question is, are you able to actually track the nutrition from the amount of food a person consumes over the day? Like, or would you consider doing that? So you accumulate the nutrition value.
Good idea. My brother also suggested that we pair it with a scale, and and you could actually scan the food and weigh how much you were eating, and then we'd have something we can sell. So that would be a nice new feature.
We don't do that because we're just looking at the label for now.
Oh.
So yeah.
So you have your own kind of in-house developed OCR essentially, right? So you're not going to make it.
We're using Tesseract.
So have you actually, how much have you optimized for the fact that these labels are standardized? In other words, are you scanning each time the entire label, or are you saying, well, we know that this is where carbs are going to lie, this is where,
Yeah,
so we know that there's this many categories of things.
For now, we haven't done that optimization. That was one of the things that we said we will consider to do word by word. Right now, we're just doing a generic letter by letter, so we have to actually scan through the entire label and identify letters and identify. Yeah. So we have not done optimization particular to nutrition labels. We are just using a generic identification and classification.
I assume they're standardized, right? In the sense that the carbs come first. So in other words, once you hit F, you're going to know that's the fat content, why you need to read the whole word.
Yeah, we have not done that part yet.
That's going to speed up your
Yeah.
So you guys showed the demonstration of cookies, but like the cookies could be different sizes or different weights, different grams. Do you guys take that into consideration when scaling, or?
So no, every label is for one serving of whatever item the label is for. So we always just consider serving sizes, not serving weights or anything like that.
Great, thank you.